It was a beautiful, sunny summer day, and the Appleton family gathered on the patio. Craig, the head of the family, sat in the gazebo's shade wearing a robe and a black bandage over his eyes. He sipped his coffee while his wife Diana sunbathed on a lounger with a cocktail, looking stunning with her perfect figure and impeccable looks. She fluttered her long, doll-like eyelashes and yelled at her stepdaughter Lisa, a lively 7-year-old who was running around the pool, trying to catch a butterfly with a net. "Lisa, stop running. Calm down, can you play quietly for at least 5 minutes?" "Oh, naughty child," Diana scolded. Lisa, an active and adorable girl with curly brown hair and chubby cheeks, looked like a little angel. She was long used to her stepmother's lack of affection, so she didn't even flinch at the reprimand. A beautiful butterfly with colorful wings landed on the edge of the pool. Lisa carefully took her phone from her pocket, wanting to take a picture. She approached closer and closer to the pool's edge and suddenly stumbled, falling head over heels into the water. Lisa started screaming and flailing because she couldn't swim well. "Daddy, Daddy, I'm drowning. Help me." Craig rushed to the pool in a panic, but being nearly blind, he moved unsteadily, staggering and feeling his way with his hands. "Diana, can't you hear? Help, Lisa. I can't see anything. Where am I going?" Diana didn't get up from the lounger, just protested, "You little brat, I told you to sit quietly. This will teach you a lesson. Stop shouting and swim to the edge. Come on." Hearing the girl's cries, the gardener, Peter, threw away his lawnmower and ran to the pool, jumping into the water. He quickly pulled Lisa out. Lisa rushed to her father, hugged him in fright, and cried, "Daddy, I was so scared. I just wanted to take a picture of the butterfly. The phone drowned too. I didn't mean to." "It's okay, sweetie. We'll buy you a new one," Craig comforted her. "These are just little things. The main thing is that you're alive and healthy. Go change clothes in the house, but please be more careful. Don't approach the edge closely. The tile is very slippery. Don't scare Daddy like that." Diana flew into a rage. "What a weakling you are. You should have punished her for disobeying. She almost drowned and ruined an expensive item. All you do is spoil her, and she's gone completely crazy. When are you going to find a nanny for your daughter? I can't deal with her. She's spoiled and unbearable." But Craig sharply rebuked Diana. "How dare you? She almost drowned, and instead of helping, you sat there. Thanks to Peter, Lisa is safe. She is just a child who has lost her mother. I love her very much, and you will have to accept that if you want to be with me. Do you think that if you have your own child, they won't run around and misbehave? And yes, I will definitely find a nanny. I've already placed an ad, but you see, I'm blind now, so it's very difficult to do." Realizing she had gone too far, Diana quickly backed down. "Don't be angry, dear. I love you very much, you know that, but I can't be tied to Lisa all day. I have training, fitness, massage, and a beauty salon. And now, moreover, your business and your daughter are on me, so hurry up and find a nanny. It will make life easier for all of us. Anyway, I have to go. I have a manicure at 12 and a massage at 2. Love you. Don't miss me too much." Lisa was happy that her stepmother was leaving and quietly sat next to her father, hugging him with her little hands. "I'm sorry, Daddy. I didn't mean to. Why is Diana so mean? She doesn't love me, and you just don't notice it. I miss my loving mommy so much," Lisa sobbed. Craig hugged his little girl tightly. "I miss her too, my little one. She was the best. But you know she's in heaven now, and Diana isn't so bad. You're just not used to each other yet. I promise you'll get to choose the nanny yourself. In fact, another candidate should be coming soon." Lisa kissed her father on the cheek and ran off to play with her dolls in the yard. Craig closed his eyes in pain and began to reminisce about his life. His first wife, Vanessa, was beautiful and an excellent housewife. She came from a decent family, and most importantly, she loved Craig deeply. They were supposed to live happily ever after, but 2 years ago she died from a serious genetic illness that started after childbirth. Her vision deteriorated, then her memory, and eventually, her arms and legs stopped working. Vanessa became bedridden and gradually faded away. It was heartbreaking to watch a young and beautiful woman become a helpless invalid. Craig was consumed with helplessness because no matter how much he spent on medicine, he couldn't get her back on her feet. After Vanessa's funeral, their daughter withdrew, cried for a long time, and still mourned her mom. Craig also thought he would never be able to live with anyone else. But one day, at a business dinner in a restaurant, he saw Diana. She was sitting with a friend, drinking martinis and chatting merrily. The business dinner smoothly turned into fun with dancing, and as they danced a slow dance, Craig was powerless against the allure of her young, desirable body and beauty. That's how their romance began, ending in a quick wedding. Diana quickly settled in and felt like the mistress of the house. She confidently gave tasks to everyone and commanded the household. But she and Lisa just couldn't get along, and it was mutual. To be honest, Craig believed that Lisa was just jealous of his new wife and thought it would pass with time. However, even after 2 years, the situation did not improve. The stepmother and stepdaughter openly fought. Then, 2 weeks ago, a terrible incident happened. Their driver, Tim, asked for some time off for personal reasons, and Craig had to drive himself. Late at work one day, as he approached his car in the parking lot, 3 bandits attacked him from behind. He fought back, but one of the criminals sprayed pepper spray directly into his face. Fortunately, a passing patrol car scared off the hooligans, but the eye burns were so serious that Craig almost went blind. Now, he had to wear black sunglasses or a blindfold while undergoing intensive treatment. The doctors warned him that if the medications didn't help, he would need an operation to restore his vision. This gave him some hope, but he was still terribly nervous. Craig was practically disabled for a while and forced to stay home. What annoyed the businessman most was that he couldn't understand who he had offended so much. He hadn't had such sharp conflicts in a long time. Now he had to manage the company from home, talk to partners on the phone, and hold online conferences. Surprisingly, his wife, Diana, quickly got involved in the business and plunged headlong into it. Craig's thoughts were interrupted by a pleasant voice. "Good afternoon, are you Craig Appleton? My name is Carol. I came for the nanny vacancy. I am scheduled for 12 o'clock, the businessman smiled. Though he couldn't see his interlocutor, he had a feeling she was a pleasant young girl. He began asking questions. "Carol, how old are you? Have you been working with children for a long time? Do you have recommendations from your previous job? And what kind of education do you have? I just love my daughter very much and want to find a real professional for her." Carol sighed. "Then I probably won't suit you. I have no recommendations, but I love children very much and am ready to work for a small fee. I have already met Lisa, she's a wonderful girl. I promise to be with her all the time and to teach her." At that moment, Lisa ran up, seeing her father hesitating and frowning. She started speaking cheerfully, winking at Carol. "Daddy, let's choose Carol. I really like her. And by the way, you said recently that I would choose the nanny myself, didn't you?" Craig weighed all the pros and cons. Too young for a nanny, only 23. No experience, no recommendations. Who knows what kind of person she is? But her voice. What a wonderful voice she has. And Lisa really liked her. This was the first time. Oh well, what will be, will be. "Okay, Carol, you're hired, but with a trial period. You can start right now. There's a schedule of lessons and a daily routine in Lisa's room. Plus, you'll have to take the child to dance and drawing classes, walk with her, help her with her homework, make sure she eats well, and report to me about any changes in her health. Is everything clear?" The girl almost cried with happiness. She really needed this job. "Thank you, you won't regret it. I'll try very hard." From that day on, Carol started working for the Appleton family. She did an excellent job, and Lisa simply adored her. Carol didn't pressure or scold her. They were more like friends. If Carol noticed that Lisa was starting to slack off or didn't want to write the difficult letters, she would resort to a trick. She would immediately organize a competition. "Okay, whoever completes the task faster and better will get the biggest and most delicious vanilla ice cream, and whoever loses will have to eat oatmeal for 2 days. Personally, I hate oatmeal. What about you?" Lisa panted and wrote those difficult letters of the alphabet, trying to outdo Carol and avoid the unpalatable oatmeal. Craig was happy with the new nanny. His daughter was doing well academically and was in good spirits. In the evenings, she enthusiastically talked about how Carol taught her to make fancy hairstyles or create macrame. Only Diana was not thrilled with the new nanny and kept muttering, "You chose a strange nanny for Lisa. Not only is she a young upstart, but she spoils your daughter more than you do. What kind of upbringing is that? You need to be stricter with Lisa, otherwise she'll just relax. The girl has started to ignore me. Before, at least she would get angry. But now she just keeps quiet and goes to Carol." Craig laughed and said, "You won't be content with anyone, my dear. No nanny is good enough, but having a nanny is also not good for you. If Lisa is rude, you don't like it. If she doesn't say anything, that's also bad. Maybe you just don't want to find a way to connect with the child." Diana pursed her lips. And grudgingly, Diana fell silent, thinking to herself, "Do whatever you want. Just keep that annoying girl away from me. I'm so tired of her." There was a grand piano in the mansion, and Craig, who used to be a musician, sometimes felt nostalgic and played some melodies on it. One day, when he heard Carol and Lisa playing the dog waltz together on the piano and laughing merrily, he almost fell off his chair. He asked Carol, "Carol, do you play the piano? I'm pleasantly surprised. I was a musician in the past too. Play something else. I'm curious to listen." Carol blushed and replied, "I'm not a specialist. I just had a good music teacher in the orphanage. She taught me and said I had talent, but I really loved music, especially this melody. It touches my heart." Then Carol played a slow and romantic tune. Craig was stunned. Tears willingly rolled down his cheeks, and everything in his soul was overturned by the old experiences of his youth. He kept repeating to himself, "My God, this is simply impossible." When Carol had finished, he thanked her and asked, "Tell me, where did you learn this melody? It isn't recorded anywhere, that's for sure. Moreover, it was written by a person I had known." "My neighbor Rachel taught me how to play it," replied Carol. "She's a good woman, talented. If you could hear how she plays, but she has a lot of trouble now. Her son was taken away, and she was fired from work for no reason. She's in deep depression. I tried to encourage her as best I can." Craig's heart was racing, and his legs became weak. He asked for more details. "How old is your neighbor? What's her last name? How old is her son? Why was he taken?" Carol sighed. "Rachel's last name is Lesnikova. She's about 30. I didn't ask about her exact age, and her son's name is Adam. He's 9 years old, a wonderful boy, smart and serious beyond his years. I don't know if Rachel was married or who Adam's father is, but she once mentioned her first and tragically failed love. Rachel used to work as a music teacher in a private school. She earned a decent salary and worked hard. But then the director set his sights on her. He's already married, over 50, with even grandchildren, and he kept harassing her, threatening that if she didn't agree to sleep with him, he would make her life so miserable that she would come crawling to him begging for intimacy." But Rachel was not one to back down. When the director began to shamelessly grope her under her skirt right in his office, she slapped him and threatened to go to his wife and write a statement to the police. That's when the old goat went crazy and really made Rachel's life a nightmare. When she was away, some people broke into her apartment so carefully that it couldn't be detected and made a mess, scattering cigarette butts and empty whiskey bottles everywhere. As soon as Rachel entered her home with her son, whom she had picked up from school, child services and fake witnesses burst in. She didn't understand where the mess and filth came from. They took Adam away, saying that Rachel was drinking and not taking care of her son, but that's a complete lie. I often visited my neighbor. Her house was always clean. I swear she didn't even smoke, and we'd only have a little wine on birthdays or other holidays. In short, Rachel was in shock. She was pounding on the doors of all the authorities, trying to get her son back and prove that she was slandered, but all in vain. The director also fired her from her job and embarrassed her in front of everyone, telling them she was an alcoholic and an irresponsible mother and that she didn't belong in the school. Since that day, Rachel has completely lost her spirit, spending all her time under the windows of the orphanage, crying. Adam suffers there too, begging to go home. Just imagine what it's like for a little homely boy to end up there. They only show how wonderful it is on TV, how the children are well fed and dressed. I was an orphan and had lived there. It's a nightmare. I feel so sorry for both Rachel and Adam. I would personally strangle this mean old man with connections who ruined my neighbor's life for his lust. Craig was shocked by what he had heard, and tears flowed from his eyes, irritating his already damaged eyes. Everything matched. It couldn't be true. He asked in a trembling voice, Carol, I beg you bring Rachel here tomorrow. I really need to see her, or at least hear her. You see, we had known each other, but it's a long story. Just do as I ask. The girl was very surprised but nodded. Okay, as you say. I'll come with her tomorrow morning if she'd like to, of course. But how do I explain everything to her? The man said with a breaking voice, just tell her that Craig is waiting for her. When Carol came to feed Lisa lunch, Craig locked himself in his office, clasped his head in his hands, and began to remember his youth and Rachel. Craig grew up with his mother alone. He never knew his father. In childhood, she told him fairy tales that his father was a polar explorer, a geologist. But when the boy grew up, he understood everything himself and no longer asked stupid questions. From early childhood, Craig adored music. He could sit for a long time and listen to a favorite melody. Once, when he and his mother were visiting acquaintances, the 5-year-old boy sat down at the piano and, simply playing the keys, could play a simple tune. His mother decided to send him to a music class, where he met Rachel. Craig well remembered how stunned he was when he saw this cute skinny girl with 2 huge bows and a sheet music folder in her hands. They were seated at one desk, and from that day on, Rachel and Craig became best friends. They decided to enter a music college together, made their first serious successes, and performed at concerts. Over the years, their childhood friendship gradually turned into true love. Rachel was always so airy and dreamy. For her, material things were not the main thing. She lived with love and music and didn't pay much attention to the fact that musicians' salaries were small and they had to live on a shoestring, saving on everything. But all of this really irritated Craig. Like any man, he dreamed of having his own house, a cool car, dressing well, and living comfortably. That's why, after finishing college, he didn't pursue further education and instead tried his hand at trading and starting his own business. This caused the couple to argue more and more. Craig, what are you doing? Don't give up on music. It's your talent. You're really gifted. Your fingers were made for playing, for creating, Rachel would plead. But Craig got angry. I don't understand you. You're not of this world. Don't you see that we're poor? How and what are we going to live on? On the few pennies we earn from music? Who needs those concerts now? I work to give you these gold earrings, to dress well and eat well. Another girl would be happy with that. And you could give private lessons and earn good money yourself instead of trying to teach me how to live. Rachel, deeply offended, took off the earrings and threw them in her fiancé's face. Take them. They're not a gift if you're going to use them against me. Maybe it's better for us to break up. I don't understand you. I don't know what happened to you, why you've changed so much. You've become harsh, dry, and soulless. I want a quiet, simple family life. I don't need wealth. The main thing is loyalty, trust, and love. And you've gone crazy, obsessed with money. You disappear for days, your eyes are red, and you've completely given up music. When was the last time you sat down at the piano? I won't give private lessons. I won't take money from children. Craig waved his hand angrily. Well then, leave. Live your life the way you want. But you'll regret leaving me. I'll become a big businessman, and then we'll see. So they argued and foolishly broke up without any good reason. Craig pursued his career and soon opened a chain of auto repair shops. He worked day and night like a squirrel in a wheel. Then he met Vanessa, got married, had a daughter, and other worries began. In this crazy whirlwind, there was no time to look back. His wife's death greatly weakened him, but then he met Diana and succumbed to her charms. It cannot be said that he did not love Diana. There were feelings, passion, and attachment. everything except for that unique light and pure feeling of happiness and trembling he had experienced when he was with Rachel and music. And only now, when he heard that same melody from his youth, written by Rachel, did his heart constrict, and a wild longing came over him. He desperately wanted to meet Rachel again, to talk heart to heart. No matter how you look at it, first love lives in a person's heart all their life. It's never forgotten under any circumstances. Craig could barely wait for the next day. He meticulously shaved and got ready in the morning. He couldn't wait for Diana to leave for the beauty salon. Her mindless chatter about rags and gossip about neighbors and acquaintances was driving him crazy. Carol took Lisa to school and returned home, not alone but with Rachel. Craig could only see a blurry silhouette, but the light scent of her floral perfume and her gentle, bell-like voice hadn't changed. The woman exclaimed, "Craig, is it really you?" When Carol told me yesterday that Craig wanted to meet me, I was surprised. "And you've changed so much. You've become a brutal and prominent man. What happened? Why did you want to see me, and why do you have a black bandage over your eyes? Are you sick?" Craig listened to her words, and tears streamed down his face. He took Rachel's hand and felt its softness and delicacy, with long fingers made for music. He began to kiss and caress each finger, and whispered, "My dear Rachel, how happy I am to see you. I long to see you, to breathe your scent. We were such fools to break up back then. You ask what's happened to me. 2 weeks ago, a bunch of ruffians attacked me and sprayed me with pepper spray in the face. Now I'm almost blind. I can only see blurry silhouettes. The doctors say I need an operation, but that's not important. Carol told me that you have a son, Adam. Rachel, tell me, is he mine? Tell me the truth. Do I really have a son?" Rachel sighed softly and answered, "Yes, Craig. Adam is your son. I haven't been with any other men except for you. No matter how hard I try to forget you, to get you out of my head, I can't. But they took my little boy from me. My heart is breaking. I can hardly sleep. I just sit and wait outside the orphanage, hoping he'll wave to me out of the window. What did I do to deserve all this? I never did anything wrong to anyone. How I hate that lecherous goat who ruined my whole life. He's paid everyone off just to hurt me as much as possible. I'm so desperate that I'm about to agree to his terms just so he'll give me my son back. There's no other way." Craig squeezed her hand tightly and almost shouted, "No, don't even think about it. I'll help you get your boy back. Give me all his information and yours too. I'll find the right people, hire the best lawyers, and together we'll bring down that wretch. I have connections in the police department. Remember Henry Black? You won't believe it, but he's already a police captain. So don't worry. I'll get Adam back. I won't let my son wander through orphanages. Please trust me, Rachel. Everything will be fine. I've never met anyone like you, and now I won't let you go. Know that." They shared warm goodbyes, and Rachel truly regained hope. Craig called Henry, and he quickly agreed to his classmate's request, suggesting they carry out the operation. Rachel had to call the director and pretend to agree to his terms and set up a meeting. They gave her a microphone, and her task was to make her boss confess to everything so he could be caught. Rachel was distressed, but she was ready to do anything for her son. She took a deep breath and resolutely dialed the director's number. He reluctantly answered, "You finally agreed, stubborn girl. Or why are you calling?" Inside, Rachel's anger boiled, but she answered as gently as possible, "Edward, I beg you. Give me back my son." Rachel agreed reluctantly. "Let's meet. Tell me where and when." The director smirked. "Well, let's meet tomorrow at 6 in the evening in my office. There's also a comfortable couch for discussions. I'm waiting for you, my sweet little bird." Rachel felt sick at the director's lecherous words. She gathered herself, dressing as provocatively as her upbringing allowed, a blouse with a deep neckline, a pencil skirt, and high-heeled shoes. She applied more lipstick to her already plump lips, carefully hid and checked the recording device, and nervously made her way to the director's office. The detective had instructed her that if things went awry, she should open the window. Rachel knocked and entered the office. The director lounged in his chair, grinning hungrily as he looked her up and down. "Good evening, my little bird. I see the situation has been good to you. You've become more talkative. Good job. It's been a while, he said with a lascivious tone. Oh, what an appetizing body. I'm burning up. Come on, take off your clothes and let me admire you. Rachel was stunned by his audacity, but she steeled herself with thoughts of Adam and the operatives outside. She deflected, suggesting they drink champagne and relax first. Edward, let's not rush. I can't do it that way. Let's drink, relax, she said, buying time. The director didn't object, uncorking the champagne and pouring drinks. Rachel seized the moment to press him. Edward, before we, I must be sure that you'll give me back my son. Can you promise me that? I know you're responsible for what happened, but how did you manage to tarnish my good name? Edward grinned. You should have been more agreeable from the start. Then there wouldn't have been any problem. No one has the right to turn away from me. Do you think my secretary and the PE teacher work here for nothing? They turned out to be smarter than you and now receive excellent salaries and regular bonuses. As for you, there's nothing complicated. My good and very close acquaintance works in the guardianship authorities, thanks to my patronage. She paid me back by putting your boy in an orphanage, and I hired bandits and witnesses for that mess in your flat. Money solves everything these days, believe me. Well, I liked you. I fell for you, so the more pleasure you give me, the faster you'll get your son back. So, are you relaxed now? Take off your clothes. You talk too much. Rachel realized she couldn't delay any longer. Pretending to unbutton her blouse, she swiftly opened the window. She began to pray and waited anxiously for the police to arrive. The director, losing control, moved towards her aggressively, trying to rip her blouse off. Rachel screamed and fought back, repulsed by his advances. Edward pushed her, knocking things off the table. Shut up, you fool. There's no one here anyway, not even the janitor. Why did you decide to fight again? Have you lost your mind? At that moment, the flimsy door burst open with a crash, and the operative stormed into the office. He swiftly arrested the director and reprimanded him sharply. Shame on you, engaging in such indecent behavior at your age, and you're a married man with grandchildren. How will they feel knowing what their grandfather has been up to? The director cursed and struggled to break free. You'd had me wrapped around your finger. You'll pay for this. I have connections, you know. The policeman silenced him. We'll deal with your connections later. How did you manage to take this woman's child and cover it up? Rachel finally relaxed, exhaling deeply as tears of relief and stress streamed down her face. Will they return Adam to me now? He confessed to everything, didn't he? Did I do everything right? She asked, handing the officer the recording device. The officer reassured her, we'll sort everything out. You're right, Diana. We needed to talk seriously for a long time, he began reluctantly. First, I'll answer your question. Rachel is my first and long-standing love. We studied together at the music school. Then, we foolishly broke up. It turned out that she was already pregnant, but didn't even know it yet. She gave birth to a son named Adam, so now I'm the father of 2 children, Lisa and Adam. Diana exploded with disbelief and anger. Even better. Are you saying that besides your spoiled daughter, there will also be a boy living here? That's terrible, she exclaimed, her voice dripping with disdain. Craig felt the weight of her words but remained calm. Diana, Adam is my son. He's been separated from Rachel unfairly. I intend to bring him home and make our family whole. Diana scoffed, and what about me? Am I supposed to just accept this? You never mentioned any of this before. I know this is a lot to take in, Craig replied, his voice tinged with regret. But Rachel and Adam need me. They're a part of my life that I can't ignore any longer. Diana's face twisted in anger. So, what? Am I supposed to step aside for your old flame and her son? This is absurd. Craig shook his head sadly. Diana, it's not about you stepping aside. It's about me doing what's right for my children. Diana's eyes blazed with resentment. Your children. What about me? What about our marriage? Craig paused, his heart heavy with the realization that their marriage had never been built on a solid foundation. Maybe we rushed into this marriage too quickly. It's clear now that we want different things. Diana seethed. "You're abandoning me for your past mistakes and a child you never knew about. You're making a big mistake, Craig." Craig took a deep breath, steeling himself for what he had to say next. "Perhaps you're right, Diana. Maybe this marriage was a mistake." With that, Craig walked away, leaving Diana fuming and alone in their once shared space. He knew there would be difficult times ahead, but he also knew that he couldn't ignore his responsibilities to Rachel and Adam any longer. "You didn't listen to me, Diana. Our romance spun so fast and quickly that I couldn't even understand anything myself. But the passion quickly faded, and 2 years later, we are almost strangers. You don't get along with Lisa, and apparently you're not going to find an approach to her. When I saw Rachel after many years, I realized that I still love her like in my youth." He paused, gathering his thoughts, knowing his next words would be difficult for Diana to hear. "I understand it's unpleasant for you to hear this now, but I'm not going to lie. Tomorrow, I'm going to talk to the doctor about the eye surgery, and then we'll probably have to part ways. Don't worry, I'll leave you the apartment in the residential area and the car I gave you. And then, well, you're on your own. You'll have to find a job and live like everyone else." Diana jumped up and screamed in a voice that didn't sound like her own. "What a statement. I'm your wife, so half of all your property and business is mine. I'll take everything that's rightfully mine. Ungrateful. I've been living with you for 2 years, putting up with your unbearable daughter. At least you could say thank you. By the way, I'm not going to live with you anymore either. I don't need another burden on my shoulders. I'm only 25 years old, my whole life ahead of me. I want to have fun, enjoy life, not take care of someone else's children and a blind husband." Craig couldn't take it anymore. "So that's how you talk? While I was healthy, giving you gifts, buying you gold, being a good husband. Now that I'm disabled, I'm not good enough for you? Well then, we can say goodbye right now. I won't keep you any longer." Diana realized she had said too much and changed tactics. "Honey, wait. Let's stop now. We both got angry and said too much. Let's wait until you get better and recover before we have this unpleasant conversation, okay? Please, don't rush into surgery. The doctor said a month, not earlier. Otherwise, God forbid, there may be complications. Come to me, I'll kiss you." But Craig saw through her insincerity. "As you wish, I've said everything. Sorry." With that, Craig turned away, feeling the weight of their shattered marriage and uncertain future pressing heavily upon him. Craig urgently needed to listen to the recording of the meeting sent by his deputy. "I need to hear that recording from my deputy," Craig said, his voice laced with concern. Diana, seething with anger, quickly stormed out of the office. "Oh, you miserable invalid. He's leaving me an apartment. What am I supposed to live on? Go work. God forbid. I'm not meant for this. Just wait, I'll get you. You'll remember me for a long time." Ignoring Diana's threats, Craig decided to consult with a professor. Rachel offered to accompany him for support, showing her steadfast friendship. Meanwhile, Carol and Lisa returned home late that day, having enjoyed their after-school activities of drawing and sculpting. They were greeted by a scene of chaos and distress. "There's been a break-in, Craig," Carol exclaimed in panic over the phone. "Lisa and I just got back, and the house is a mess. The safe's open, the TV's gone, and there were important documents on your shelf. I've called the police. Please come quickly." "Okay, Carol. Take Lisa to her room, lock yourselves in, and don't open the door until I arrive. I'm on my way," Craig instructed, his urgency cutting through the phone line. Focusing on the security camera footage, Craig's heart sank as he watched the betrayal unfold. Diana and their driver, Tim, were frantically pillaging the house, grabbing electronics, jewelry, money, and important papers. Unaware of the cameras, Diana's anger boiled over as she shouted, "There you go, hubby. You'll remember me yet." Tim, equally incensed, replied with bitterness, "What a lucky wretch. We couldn't finish him off, just blinded him. Otherwise, we would have sent Lisa to a shelter and lived here like kings." Diana urged Tim to hurry, fearing Carol and Lisa's imminent return. They needed to sell everything quickly and flee to a warm destination. Craig was stunned by the betrayal. The police arrived swiftly, taking fingerprints and launching a pursuit to apprehend the couple. Back inside the house, Lisa hugged her father tightly, offering him comfort in the midst of this shocking betrayal. "I told you a long time ago, Daddy, Diana doesn't love us. She's mean and bad, and you didn't believe me." Craig hugged his daughter tenderly. "You're right, sweetheart. Diana won't be living with us anymore, but I want you to meet someone special. Do you remember Rachel? She visited us once. She has a son named Adam. He's your brother. It's a long story, and you'll understand more when you're older. I hope you two get along." Lisa looked thoughtful, absorbing the news about her new brother. "Daddy, what did the doctor say? Will your eyes be able to see again?" Lisa asked anxiously. Craig smiled reassuringly. "I have surgery scheduled for Monday. You and Carol will be together all the time, and Adam will be with you too. His mother will go with me to the hospital. Please listen to Carol and be a good girl." Meanwhile, the police swiftly located Diana and Tim by tracing them to Tim's apartment. They were handcuffed and taken to the police station. Both faced serious charges for attempting to harm Craig and stealing from him. In the stark reality of the police station, Diana was overwhelmed with panic. The grey walls, the damp atmosphere, the uncomfortable mattress, and the terrible food filled her with dread. It was only now that she realized the gravity of her situation. She cried incessantly and berated herself, muttering, "You fool! Why didn't I just live peacefully? Now look at what I've gotten myself into with this Tim. I need to meet with Craig urgently and beg for forgiveness. He's kind, he'll forgive me. I agree to leave this city as far as possible, anywhere but prison." Meanwhile, Craig initiated divorce proceedings, leaving all the legal details to his lawyer as he prepared for surgery. Rachel stood faithfully by his side, providing comfort and support during this challenging time. At home, Carol cared for the children. Adam, initially shy, found a fast friend in Lisa, whose lively nature quickly helped him feel at ease in the Appleton household. Every day after school, they visited Craig in the hospital, eagerly anticipating the removal of the bandages from his eyes. It was a moment filled with both excitement and anxiety for everyone. Finally, the day arrived for Craig's bandages to come off. As he slowly opened his eyes, tears streamed down his face. The doctor examined him, satisfied with the results, and prepared him for discharge. Walking out of the doctor's office, Craig's smile widened when he saw Rachel waiting in the hallway. "My dear, I knew you hadn't changed a bit over the years. You've only become more beautiful," Craig exclaimed with joy. He admired her familiar features, the lips, the curls, the long eyelashes, and the lock of hair tucked behind her ear. "Rachel, you're so beautiful. Finally, I can look at you and admire you every second. And look at my son. Thanks to Carol, who played our melody on the piano. I'll be grateful to her for the rest of my life," Craig declared emotionally. "Rachel, I'm ready to leave all this business behind. It's been a thorn in my side. I've earned enough over the years for our family to live comfortably for many years. Let's try to live as you've always wanted, in love, peace, enjoying each other, and beloved music. Are you okay with that?" Rachel couldn't hold back her tears of joy as she hugged Craig tightly. "You're my sweet fool. Those are the words I longed to hear from you. I was so hurt when you chose money and business over our love and passion for music. Of course, I agree. I still love you. Do you remember our first kiss? You played the Moonlight Sonata, and we spent the whole night searching for the Big Dipper in the sky, kissing passionately. You wrapped me in your jacket, shielding me from the rain. That moment, I was the happiest," Rachel reminisced fondly. "Let's go home. Everyone is waiting for us there," Craig suggested warmly. When Lisa saw her father confidently walking towards them, she understood that he could see again and rushed to greet him excitedly. "Hooray, Daddy, you're better. Let's go quickly. We baked you a cake. You'll love it." Adam and I helped Carol. Adam stood shyly nearby, hesitant to approach Craig. Seeing this, Craig gently addressed him, "Well, hello, son. Finally. I see you and I can look at you. Well, we certainly look alike. Ears and that smile are definitely mine. Did your mom tell you that I'm your dad? I'm so upset that I didn't know anything about you for 9 years of your life. But now that we've met, let me be a real father, the closest person. I would really like that. Know that I love you, son. Craig extended his hand to the boy, who shook it firmly and then said quietly, I'm glad you're with me now, Dad. And I can see how Mom is smiling. Craig hugged his son tightly, pressing him close. Now we will all live together as one big family. It seems you've already made peace with Lisa. She's your little sister, so stick together and support each other in life. Well, let's go have lunch. From that day on, the life of the wealthy businessman Craig Appleton changed dramatically. He became an entirely different person, unexpectedly to everyone. He sold his successful and prosperous business and threw himself into caring for his family and music. With great pleasure, he approached the piano every morning, playing his favorite and long-forgotten melodies. He even took out an old music notebook. Rachel, with her immense talent, became his personal tutor and also taught the children. It turned out wonderfully. Rachel and Craig had immense natural talent, and they decided to take a risk and open their brainchild, a private music school. The couple got married modestly, not wanting to attract attention to their lives. They had no time for that. They were too busy admiring and looking at each other. Craig realized only now that for years he had been living someone else's life, choosing the wrong job and the wrong woman, dragging this burden out of inertia. The only thing he didn't regret was his daughter Lisa, his sunshine and the stimulus to live and create all this time. Rachel quickly became friends with Lisa, naturally soft, loving children, and working at the school. Carol, initially worried about losing her job, was reassured by Craig and Rachel. Don't worry, Carol, Craig said warmly. Stay in our house. You're no longer a stranger to us, and the children can't do without you. Even with just Lisa, it wasn't boring here, and now we have 2 little ones. Everyone needs to keep an eye on them. Meanwhile, Diana sat in pretrial detention, praying for a meeting with Craig. He deliberately delayed it, wanting to teach her a lesson that would forever deter her from stealing and cheating. Diana changed visibly during this time. She became thin, her skin dull and lifeless. The thought of spending years in this situation made her sick, and despair overwhelmed her. When she was finally told that Craig was ready to meet her, she almost jumped for joy. But when the skinny Diana, dressed in a crumpled tracksuit with greasy hair, entered the room for negotiations, Craig couldn't help but flinch at the stark contrast from the Diana he knew. She had changed a lot. There was no trace left of her former confidence and audacity. Tears welled in her eyes as she pleaded quietly, Forgive me, Craig, if you can. I'm to blame. I have nothing left. Please withdraw the statement. I don't want to go to jail. I'll leave right away to my mother's, and I'll never bother you again. Have mercy on me. Forgive me. Craig replied calmly, I hope jail served as an excellent lesson for you. You won't steal someone else's property anymore, at least not from the one who supported you. And you won't harm your next husband either. That plan failed. I can see now, my vision has fully recovered. Lisa is a wonderful child. She gets along with Carol, Rachel, and her little brother Adam. It wasn't about her, it was about you. You're a wicked, calculating, selfish person who only thinks about your own interests. I'll withdraw the statement, but if you ever show up again, you'll end up in jail. I've kept the recording safe. Diana cried softly and whispered, Thank you. The Appleton family lived in peace and harmony. Many people in the city and their children wanted to attend their music school. Lisa and Adam also played instruments. Adam chose the guitar and drums, while Lisa stuck with the piano. Rachel often composed her own melodies, and Craig wrote poetry. They had family songs they enjoyed singing together. Finally, Craig's life became filled with the meaning he had dreamed of.